Hey, Coach, just having Trenton back out on the field today, how important was that for you?
Awesome, great leader, super smart guy, so it's really good to have him back. Obviously, Drew Pyne is going to be out this week. I'll just get that out the bag. He's been dealing with two really, pretty extreme things that he's tried to battle back from, and he's got a third one now. So he's out for the near future.
Are you your quarterback depth chart has changed like every week now for 4 or 5 weeks. It's hard to get continuity.
Yeah, but nobody cares. So find a way.
Coach, you're going on the road for the first time. That presents sometimes can be problems with guys traveling and all that kind of stuff. How are you dealing with that this week?
Yeah, it's football. The main thing's the main thing. Stay focused on the football. Don't get distracted by the traveling. You're on a play, cool. Had a kid who said he wanted to see the Golden Gate Bridge, cool. I'll show you a photo in the team meeting, right? So all that stuff, it doesn't matter, right? Let's just go play the game of football, and it'll be the same process. We do a little bit of tweaks because it's a morning game, but other than that, they just have less time on a Friday here in town. They have to travel, and then it's as usual.
Can you talk about the adjustments that you've had to make from a week-to-week basis and how maybe that's different as a head coach versus your prior roles?
Yeah, I would say, when I was a coordinator, all I thought about was how many reps could I get and how could I make sure that I covered everything. And now it's like, okay, whose bodies as a team are wearing down? How do I manage or limit reps in order to stay fresh for game day? And that was one thing that was a positive, and I told the guys in the game, is we had the majority of our team, over 75% of our skill players, hit 90% of their top speeds, which that's the goal, is to hit those on game day. And that sounds like, oh, that should always happen, right? It actually very rarely happens. But it's a testament to our strength staff, testament to our to Jerry, in terms of just keeping our guys ready and physically in a good position to perform on Saturday.
What about when you're much more involved in the offense, the possibility for blind spots in other areas? How do you handle that?
Yeah, stay up later. That's it.
How about injuries this week? How you doing other than Drew Pyne?
We're pretty status quo to last week. Got a few guys that were limited last week or that were ruled out that may be able to come back, but too early to tell right now.
You mentioned the afternoon game too. That's a little bit different than what you've done so far.
A little bit different. I'm excited because that's when we practice. So that's an adjustment for me, is all these late games and us practicing in the mornings and playing 7:30 kickoffs. That's something that I've already thought about and took notes on is that the best way for us to practice based off of our kickoff times? And if our kickoff times don't change, is that something that we need to tweak as a staff, and I need to tweak, being here in a place that gets more night games because of the heat and not as many day games. So I'm putting all those in a notebook, and we'll reassess all that after the season to see if there's a better way to win football games.
Where is Trenton? I mean, obviously him being out last week and not practicing and now coming back this week, where is he in regard to where he was before he got hurt?
Yeah, I would say full strength. I mean, not 95% to full strength. He looks great out there today. His arm looks fresh, to be honest. So maybe that time off, that last week not throwing, really rested his body, rested his arm, because his arm looks fresh.
Coach, two teams battling for their first Pac-12 win. How tough do you anticipate this one to be?
It's a tough one. I mean, if you look at, and I said this in my presser yesterday, the history of a Coach Wilcox coach team, they're in every game. Every game they're in. They play games. They always adjust. This is the ultimate chess match when you play this guy. And it's not a guessing match. They don't guess on defense. They make calculated jabs all game. And that's why they do such a good job. That's why he's the head coach there, is because he does such a good job on defense. And offensively, they're aggressive and they attack. So we got to limit the explosiveness. So this is a great challenge for us. I believe we're 13-point underdogs. So we got to go, play to the best of our ability.
Coach, the offensive success against USC, have you seen that carry over into practice so far this week?
Yeah, I don't want to sound wrong, but I don't want to use the word success. The offense's ability to be better, not to be confused with good. We were not good. We were better. I hope that continues. I hope we continue to get better, but I would not roll that as success. That's not how I would define a successful offensive performance. I would define that as a better offensive performance, and nowhere to be confused with what I believe is a good offensive performance.
But on the flip side of the ball, defensively.
Defensively, I thought take away 3 plays. Take away a 3rd and 20. We MA a twist game and MA a coverage. Should have been match thirds, turned into true thirds. They throw a 4 verticals route into the seam. And there's a 3rd and 20, that's 7 points. And a low red zone call that should have been a TFL, and Caleb Williams became Caleb Williams, 11 points. So when you take away that, if you take away those 2 plays, and there's one more pick that you could argue too, but if you add just those 2 plays, 11 points, and you're holding them to, low 30s, 20-something points, that's a really good defensive performance. But that's the hard part about defense, is all it takes is 1 play. Offense, you can survive 1 play as long as it's not a turnover. Defense, you can't. So I think those guys played a good football game with a few mistakes that were catastrophic. And those are the ones that they're trying to fix.
So the MAs are more inopportune times than a lot more than you would expect generally.
Yeah, like what I told our guys in the meeting was our worst day on defense last week was 3rd down day. Our MAs came on 3rd down. So you practice how you play. So we had a good day of practice today on defense. We're going to come out and have another good day. And I'll say this, just one thing is we got to make sure that people understand how tough Shamari is, JC is, Joey Ramos is. Those guys are playing banged up. They're playing hurt. They're playing with bumps and bruises. They don't feel good, and they're battling their guts out. And I think that's one reason why our defense has had the success they've had, is there's a bunch of guys in our defense that are just tough. Play tough, practice tough, live tough. And I think that carried over to the game. And I think slowly our offense is building guys like that. And I think Joey did a phenomenal job in the game.
At the offensive line, really challenging task for Steve Miller, being such a young coach and taking so much responsibility coaching that unit. How impressed have you been with him today in practice, also on Saturday?
Yeah, he's done a great job communicating from the box. And also Matt Christensen hopping over there. He's had experience with the O-line, really, really good football coach as well. So I think both those guys are doing a really good job filling in. And prayers up for Coach Saga, and hope to be back soon. But like I told him, is I don't care if you feel well until you get a doctor's note. You're not coming back on this field because life's the most important thing. So until you get a doctor's note that says you can be back on this field, you're staying at home, and we got you.
Coach, you kind of constantly mention that nobody cares. Where does that mentality for you come from, and why is it so important for you to get to the line?
Because I really believe that everybody's worried about what other people think all the time, way too much. Can't worry about what other people think. I don't care if people like my press conference, don't like my press conference, like if I go for it, don't like if I go for it. I could give a crap. I got here doing everything I could in what I believe is the right way. And I'm going to keep doing everything I can full speed in what I believe is the right way. And if that's not the right way, then guess what? It's not the right way. But it's what I believe in. So if you every day just wake up, worry about yourself, understand that nobody cares about your circumstance, nobody cares about the pain, show me the baby, right? Nobody asks, they say, where's the little one? Right? Nobody asks any other questions. That's life. Nobody cares about the pain, show me the baby, they want the results. And sometimes you don't get to show them the results. So you really can't worry about other people. You got to worry about your process and believe that you're doing things the right way. And if you continue to work, you're going to have those fun moments on Saturday night eventually.
Coach, I'm guessing you.
Moments. Cam said that after the game, he made a comment real quick that you might be in trouble for throwing on that fake punt. So was that scripted for him to throw, or did he just follow with Elijah and make the play?
Yeah, completely designed. So if you're playing us, you better be prepared. We always have one of those. They look ad-libbed but real plays built into the game plan. So always know I give him the freedom to do whatever he wants when he's as the punter in there. So just keep your head on a swivel.
Did your heart drop when he threw it?
My heart dropped when he took the snap at 5 yards. When he threw it, my heart actually got excited because I saw a badge open. And believe it or not, I got a lot of faith in Scat. Scat's a super heady player. Like super heady player, super smart and aware. So even though that was not part of the plan, even though my heart dropped, I actually was kind of at ease because I'm like, if he did this, there's a reason, right? Now, I don't know how him and Badge were on the same page. That I want to discuss. But yeah, I have a lot of faith in Scat. That's why we let him take the snap a lot.
Coach, I'm sure you saw the Notre Dame -1 player defensively in the last 2 plays against Iowa State. Does that change anything you do practice-wise to be aware of those kind of things?
No, I mean, We've that's been one of the things, knock on wood, that I've been pleased with. You know, we've been one of the least penalized teams in the Pac-12. We haven't had many substitution errors. We haven't had many false starts, many illegal men on the field. We've only had to burn one timeout due to a personnel and offense. That was my fault in week 2 or week 3, I can't remember. Oklahoma State week 2. So really, our coach has done a phenomenal job with the detail of penalties, substitutions, getting guys on and off the field.